So what we're going to do is we're going to get some Laguna Blue, and we're going to put that in our cup. And this is Wicked Paint by Createx Laguna Blue. And because we want to work on the background, and the background is a dark hazy blue. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a gray to this, and I would say the gray is probably like a number 4, between a number 4 and number 5. But what I like to do is go ahead and add my 40-50, and I'll put my artwork aside for a sec. So I'm going to do this 4-to-1. And remember, you want to add a little bit of the 40-50 so you don't have adherence problems. Just a little dab will do you. And then now we're going to mix separately the gray. And the gray, like I said, is a dark gray. So we're going to start with our detail white. And we're going to just put a little of that. Now, if I went in with black, I think it would be a little too strong. So rather than go with black, I think I'm going to go with detail smoke right here. Detail smoke is more transparent, and it's not going to destroy the white so fast. Let me add some 4011 to this. And then I'll get my little palette knife out. And we'll mix this up. And as you can see, this is a very, very light gray. And I'm looking for a number 4 gray, meaning 1 being black, right? So, and that's from 1 to 8. So 8 being white, 1 being black. And let's go with, I'm going to put a, because the white is really strong, so I'm going to put 1 drop of Wicked Black in there and see if that changes our color dramatically. You got to be careful because you might look like you're far away, but 2 drops might send you in the wrong direction. But I'm going to live dangerously, and we're getting close, but I think one more drop. And give it a good mix. It's pretty close. So now I know that my local color for this is this Laguna Blue. I'm mixing this up really well because we have the 4011 and we also have the 40-50 in there. Okay, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. So that's the blue I want, that's the gray. But the thing is, we have to decide how much of that gray. So I think it's more gray than blue. So I'm going to say about maybe 70-30 gray, right? So we're going to take this here and we're going to do 30 of this blue. And we're going to see if this gets us where we want to be. Maybe a little more blue, not much, but a little more. Okay. And it's almost there. I'm just going to add a drop or two of the full strength. This should get us to where we want to be. And that looks pretty good. Now I may just go ahead and put one more drop of black in there. Not smoke, but black. Let's put a little more blue in there. There we go. Okay, so now I'm feeling good about it. Maybe one drop of black. These cups are great. There'll be a link in the description where you can purchase these cups. It's an affiliate link, so I get a slight commission. I have to say that. Okay, so now we're going to put our young lady back here. Okay, so what we want to do is go over that. So I'm going to use my Extreme Patriot 105, which is customized by myself, and they are available on my website. Okay, so here is our blue-gray. Put a little bit there. Always test it out, make sure that it is working. See how it comes out before I actually pull back? So that's why, especially when you're first beginning your day, because you don't know when you actually cleaned your airbrush. Did you put the needle in all the way? Are you having any kind of issues that you don't know about with a little bit of paint in the nozzle? Okay, so now we're going to hit the darker blue over here. And just very lightly hit these dark areas. And you see the dark blue, we'll just hit these areas. You know, it's not like working on the face where you have to keep worrying about blue shift or anything like that. This is the background. Everything's all super soft edged anyway, so less pressure. We'll hit this background here. Back here it's nice and dark. And we're setting up for oil paint, right? So this is airbrushing or oil painting for airbrush artists. See, on this side it's nice and golden. On this side it's cold. So there's a window light here which is warm, candlelight main light which is window light is cold, candlelight is warm. So that's the disparity between the two. And you see we'll just lightly glaze the blue here. And we'll come in with a more powerful blue later. And okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to dump out this gray, and we're going to add that really powerful blue that we started with, and we're going to glaze it over our color. Let me get rid of some of that gray that's in the airbrush. I want the pure blue, Laguna blue, to mix with what's in the cup, you know, like in the nozzle, but not too much. So let's get rid of some of the main. Make sure we got, see, now we have this beautiful blue. And now we're going to add this blue, sort of a glaze. See how now we're coming up with this blue here. And we can glaze this blue. Whoop. Now, it's a little wet, so you just go ahead and tap it, and that solves the problem. So make sure you don't stay in a certain area too long. If that happens, you just tap it. So I'm going to increase my distance, and I'm going to make sure I don't overload. You see, now we're starting to get that blue. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the stencil that covers her silhouette. And this way we have more leeway to go a little stronger with the edges, right? We want to maintain the hard edge with her, because remember, that's where the hard edges really, we need them. So we'll just make sure we have this correct and put our magnets down. Alright, so right here we could put that right on the edge. We can really come in with this blue. And not worrying about basically contaminating the color of her, right? Because that would be, or making edges soft when you don't want them soft. You have to be in control of your edges. It's very, very important. Again, I have the Laguna Blue 4:1 with 4011 and a little bit of 4050 for adherence. On this side, do we see any blue? Maybe just a little bit right here. Just a tad of blue here and there. But mainly it is this dark color. So I like that there's some blue in her hair, in the highlight of her hair right here. And remember, you can always build it up. So just put some down, let it dry, go in again. You don't have to get it perfect right away. There's some blue on this light here. On her shoulder. And so basically it's just setting up, and let that dry. And then come back here. There's no blue. On this side it is blue, so that's important. And I'm just looking for anywhere else with that Laguna Blue. Maybe we can go ahead and put some more here since this is dry, and maybe some more over here because it's dry. Hit some of that blue. And also glaze the blue, some of the blue on top of the darker gray that we had. And of course this is all setting up for the oils, right? That's coming later. And there's not much blue, but we can go back in again. There we go. And down here it's very warm, so we have a warm light down here. Up here it's blue. Let that dry. So I have this blue. I'm going to be looking and seeing if there's any more blue elsewhere. Again, like right down here, we can hit that blue again. And when you have a darker color transparent over a lighter color, it works as a glaze. And then, you know, maybe we can come in with brush techniques and paintbrush techniques and hit that right there with a brighter color, a brighter yellowish white color that we have on the candles. Kind of have that as a rim light on her beautiful shoulder. Little bit of blue right here, just a little bit. And you see how when we pay attention to these little areas of blue, it kind of really accentuates that whole feeling of the camera's aperture on the lens, that you're getting these kind of specular highlights. Let's go back here, make it more blue. Go. So now you can see that it's really starting to just get a basis for when we come in with the oil paints. Alright, so let's go ahead. I'm just going to double check to see if there's any blue anywhere else. No, rest is pretty much warm colors. So we're going to go ahead and dump this out. And I'm going to put some water through it. As soon as I find my water bottle here. Let's see. Oh, here we go. So I took a 4011 bottle and I put water in it. And we're just going to spray this and clean it, and then we'll wipe it with a paper towel. And the next color I want to come in is probably kind of hit this kind of golden amber color over here. So I'm excited about that, as I hope you're excited about that. You know, just starting to get, you know, the real atmosphere. So if you have all the edges really soft and beautiful, when you come back, when you go over with oils, you have a wonderful, wonderful blueprint of what to do. Okay, so now I'm going to look for the color of that amber color. So okay, so we see we have to start with a red-orange color, right? Let's move her aside. Excuse me. And put a cup here. Let me get another cup. You can never have enough cups. So working in airbrush in color, you're going to have to get a lot of cups. So that's important to make sure you get them. Okay, so we're starting out with a red-orange color. What I'm going to do is I am going to begin with, Wicked Orange 0004. And we're just going to coat that bottom. Now it's a red-orange, right? So let's go ahead and add Detail Scarlet. We're just going to put a drop in it. We want to shift it towards red. 2 drops. Let's see what that does. Now Detail Scarlet is pretty strong, but I kind of like it. So I'm going to go ahead and 4011 it. Let's do 3-to-1 this time. We're going to put a little bit of our 4050. There we go. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and assimilate this, and we have a nice red-orange color to start with. And I'm going to show you how I could pretty quickly find these colors. Okay, so we have the gray we're looking for is pretty much the gray we had. And that makes sense because you can see that the values on either side of her are pretty similar. And this is our original gray right here. So what I'm thinking when I'm looking at this color, I'm looking at about 80% of the red and 20% of the gray. So we'll go 80%, and we're just going to put 20% of the gray, and we should end up with a beautiful amber color as we are, and maybe just a little more red here. Let's see how this works. Okay. Maybe just a little more red. Shift that a little bit. Okay, so now we have this kind of ambery color. We're going to put that in our airbrush, and we're going to see how this reacts. And find my cap. Okay, and bring her back. Okay, so I'm just going to test it out real quick. Get out the color that was there. And it actually is working out, so I do like it. Let's see. Okay, so we're kind of hitting this, kind of getting this amber color over here. And we always want to look at our reference. So, you know, those who follow my live streams know how important it is to do the 1 second rule. And just warming things up. Make sure we got a little tip dry thing going. Okay. Now we're in business, and you see we're just taking the yellow and white and kind of making it more of an amber. The aura of the candles, which is super warm. Now you can adjust it, there's no rule about that. So what I'm going to do is I want it even warmer. So I'm going to take some of my burnt orange. I'm going to add a couple of drops of burnt orange into this. And I'm going to mix it in the cup. I don't usually do that, but in this case I think I should. And we'll mix some of this burnt orange in here. Okay, put our top back on. And make sure we get a good spray. Make sure our airbrush is working correctly. Get rid of the color that was in there. Tip dry. Okay. Now, yes, much more of an amber color. So sometimes you may have to adjust midstream. That's okay. No worries. Keep your distance a little bit. You're going to get much smoother gradations when you're keeping your distance as opposed to being up close. See, a little bit of tip dry. Okay, so now we can move on over, or down here we can see we have a lot of warmth down here. So we come in with this color over here. Okay, let's bring back our silhouette. Let's make sure we have a good spray pattern here, and we don't. So in this video, normally I would just stop and go into, but I'm just going to put this in my other airbrush, my Extreme Patriot 105. Actually, this is my Extreme Patriot Arrow, customized by me. And I'm going to put some of this in there. There we go. And I'm just going to thin it with some 4011. So I like 4 to 1. Remember, this was 3 to 1, and then we put some of the, remember it was 4 to 1, and we put some of the detail orange, burnt orange, so it's a little thicker than I normally like it. So let me put the cap on. Okay. And again, test out our airbrush. See, that's more like it. So if you're getting coughing or anything like that, see, this is a beautiful spray. Don't spray if it's not working. Change airbrushes. If you can, go to the sink and fix it, you know. So now we can really go to town here and get these beautiful amber colors. Really nice. Same thing over here. We have this, put a magnet over to the edge. Look at those beautiful amber. So adding the burnt orange was really a good decision. Great, now we can come down here. This aura here of this candle is a beautiful amber color. Same thing right next to her body. Actually, and again, if you see that it's not lining up, don't continue. Make sure that everything is lining up. Airbrush is about prevention, doing things right, measuring twice. Because, you know, if you don't, you're just going to create more work for yourself. And I know you don't want more work. I don't want more work for you. I want your painting to get done fast. Not too fast, but fast. So this way you can start on your next masterpiece. See how now we're getting this whole kind of atmospheric kind of feel to these candles. And then we have the blue over there, which we'll work on again or revisit it, or we may not, because we're going over everything with oils. So this is just setting it up like the perfect underpainting. Right here, nice and dark amber color. Same thing here. We'll just really darken this up here. There we go. So, whoop, down here we have some amber color. Over here on the edge. Okay, so let's move this over. And again, remember her hair had this beautiful amber color towards the bottom. So it was cold and then warm. See how we can do that? Bring some of these real beautiful warm amber shadows to her hair, or semi-highlights. They're not really highlights, they're lights in the shadow. And since we have this color, let's go ahead and add some of this color to her skin, because her environment is going to affect the colors reflected on her skin. Again, I'm using this beautiful amber color. I'm about 4 inches away. And now you can see how by really paying attention to the warm and cool in the background and the light, what kind of light, what's the characteristic of the light, is really going to tell you how to paint her skin. And again, we're just setting up for the oil paint. But having a beautiful underpainting that's going to help with your decisions down the line, and that's what you want. You don't want to you don't want to start from scratch. You don't want to reinvent the wheel. So, but look at this, using this technique, how amazing it is to be using this technique and then going over it with oils is just going to be a super game changer. Okay, her hand right here, little amber color. Here in her fingers, this side. Okay, so that's it for this episode. Basically, just wanted to let you know my workflow, how I use my cups, how I mix. If, just like here, if this gets clogged, I would stop what I'm doing, go to the sink, and take out that nozzle and really clean that nozzle. But since it was a painting that I'm doing with a video, I just picked up airbrush number 2, and you see everything went so much more smooth. So in the dark here with her hand, it's not cold, it's a warm color, so I'm going to use this color. And you see just how things progress, even with this dark here. So I can't put it down. That's not good. So this is the end of the video. I hope it helps. There's going to be a live stream for the next step, but I wanted to do this for you. Any questions, please leave a comment. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. Hit the like button. And I hope to see you all soon. And thank you so much, and take care.